well. Give people a little bit of time to head in here. We already got people raising their hand. Look at that.
Hey, Showtime, it looks like you're
Little
trying to
hyped
talk,
for
but I
this.
can't hear you, buddy.
Can't hear me?
Or maybe it's just me.
Eric says he can't hear me. Let's see here. My microphone's selected. Everything looks good here. Let's see. Why don't you guys, in the general chat, let me know if you can hear me. Eric is saying he can't hear me. You can. Okay. It's just Eric then. Let me write Eric a message here. So they can hear me. All right. I told Eric it's just him. I got a little fun introduction for Luke and Eric today. I'm a cheesy kind of guy, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the video yesterday was helpful. Probably be one of those projects, Phoenix, where it's going to need multiple updates, I think, over time as things evolve. There's some projects where you do a deep dive once or twice and you're basically done. The project doesn't evolve much, but kind of like Freeway, I foresee Phoenix being like a stream of consciousness, so to speak, with the updates. So we'll see. I'm going to see if maybe we can coax Eric and Luke to do like a video AMA. Maybe not an AMA. We could do an AMA, but kind of more of a explanation as to what Phoenix is. Because I don't think Eric's been on camera yet.
I think we're overdue for an interview on video.
I don't think Eric can hear me. I'm going to write him again.
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I can hear you.
My bad. I was like, I just said that.
Yeah. Oh, you guys making me look bad with your pictures up here. Hold on, let me figure that out.
Hey, yeah. There you go. We got to see your pretty face. But anyway, hopefully I don't personally believe I have any control over price. I don't think any one person has control over price, but to educate the market, to educate the people on what it is they hold, because I think so many people, not many of you, but there are some, buy things, but they don't really know what it is they hold. And I think that educational process is just something that should be ongoing. Somebody asked, they said, don't you have like a 10-minute version? No, because research takes more than 10 minutes. And fortunately, sometimes it's an hour long or it's 20 minutes. But I think that education process is something that we can continue doing over time. It'd be very helpful for people.
Definitely Showtime. And do you know what? I saw that comment myself, and I thought the same thing as you. It's really important in crypto that you do your own research. And I must commend you on that video last night. That was a proper deep dive. It was fully impartial, and you did a really, really good job of explaining the story of where we've come from and where we're going. So thank you so much.
Sure.
I thought it was brilliant. I enjoyed every second.
Thank you. Appreciate it. My channel is certainly, I like to be very open and transparent with what I own, things like that. It's not a billboard that is sold to the highest bidder for people to come and buy airtime, I should say, to sell and shill something. So I know some people are like, why didn't you push it harder? It's because I'm being objective. I mean, you can decide to invest or not. That's completely your decision. But at least, if nothing else, you leave educated. And that I think is, always a win. Let's see, Eric, you got your beautiful face up yet? I don't see you. I think he's still trying to figure it out. All right, 400 people. Give it just another minute or two. I presume this is being recorded, Luke. We figured that out.
I believe so, but let me just double check.
Yeah. Let's double check on that just before we get started, just to make sure. We don't want to lose anything here.
Well, I edited my profile picture, but it's not showing up yet. Sorry, guys.
Oh, shucks.
Maybe drop out and come back in.
Yeah, I'll try that. Give me 1 minute.
It's worth it. It's worth the wait. We're just delaying for a couple of minutes. We're finding the worst excuses we can to delay just for a minute or two to get everybody in here.
All right, we're just getting the recording lined up now, so I'll
Okay.
let you know when it's ready.
Yeah. Great. Let's see. And I'm going to mention this, now. We'll maybe mention it again later. We'll do a proper introduction. There's some things that Eric and Luke would like to go over, just some various bullet points, the incubators, things of that nature. We will go over some pre-submitted questions. And then if we have time, we will bring people up. No guarantee of that. I will say, when we bring people up, if you could please keep it to one question only, because we've had some people come up and they don't have bad intentions, but when you ask 2, 3, 4 questions, it just takes too much time. And I'm going to be playing the bad cop today. So if you start a second question, I'm just going to boot you to the audience. So I'm just asking nicely. Let's keep it to one question to give everybody as much time as possible, if we even get to that. And then Eric and Luke will end with something I think you guys will like. There's Eric.
Hey, I figured it out. Okay, server profile, not main profile.
Look at that. All right. Just waiting for the green light, Luke, to make
Green
sure
light.
we are, in fact,
Oh,
recording.
hey, Eric. I can see your face. There you are.
Yep,
Lovely.
that's me.
Showtime. We have the green light. Let's go.
We have the green light. All right. We have the green light to go. Let's see. Okay, we got the recording here. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fresh off of networking in Dubai, jet lag, and drinking cocktails made from fire, it's Luke and Eric.
I
like that.
love that.
That's good.
That's amazing. Thanks, Matt.
You got it.
Man, that's amazing. That's made my day. Oh, fresh from jet lag. Yeah, we hit the jet lag pretty hard, didn't we, Eric? Much harder for you.
Yeah, I
than it
think
was
I
for
got
me,
it worse
though.
than you, though, because I think I crossed 10 time zones to get to Dubai. So
Yeah, I think it was like 4 or 5 for me, so it wasn't too bad. And then the clocks went back when I was away, so that was a nice little surprise as well. Brilliant. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have an amazing AMA lined up for you here this evening. We didn't get to do one last week. Obviously, Eric and I were in Dubai with some of the team and some of our investors. We had an amazing time. It was really, do you know what, actually? It was wonderful to see all of the people, just normal people who invested in fire.
that's the best part.
Yeah, man, they flew out from all over the world. Some were local to Dubai, but others, we had people from Sydney, Canada, Scotland, Perth, all over the place. They
US.
all US as well, yeah, and England. They all flew in to come and see us, and tell us their stories. And we had some really humbling stories and powerful stories as well from these people. Lives have been changed by this project, and it's really lovely to meet these people firsthand. Yeah, man. So to everyone who came to join us, thank you so much. It was great to see you there. To those who couldn't make it, that's a shame. We hope you can make it to the next one. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I echo everything you just said. Like I said, the highlight of the entire week was actually hanging out with our investors. That was the best part.
It really was. Now we did also get a lot done while we were out there. We lined up a lot of meetings, some to do with projects that are down the road, because we've been preparing this roadmap and preparing projects to come and talk to you guys. Now, unfortunately, we can't really go into the things we're talking about based from that trip because contracts haven't been signed, and parties are currently under non-disclosure agreements. But as soon as we have contracts signed and we're able to discuss it to a wider audience, you guys know that we'll share it.
Yeah. Well, we all will say thank you. It was a long trip to Dubai. I think, regardless of where you guys are coming from, long trip there. So thanks, from the community for spending days in the flight, going there, networking on behalf of the community. But let's do this. I'm going to reiterate just really, really briefly, now that we're recording, we're going to go through just some various updates with the incubator projects. We're going to tackle some pre-submitted questions. If we have time, no guarantee, if we have time, we'll bring people up for questions. And then Luke and Eric will finish with some news and various updates. If we get to the people coming up on stage, I'm going to ask to please keep it to one question only. We've had some people ask a few questions, and it just takes a lot of time. I'm just asking nicely, and then we will go from there. Luke and Eric, why don't you give us kind of any kind of update on Swapsicle? I know they had their whitelist pre-sale today, and anything you can tell us about what's going on with them, right now.
I think Al from Swapsicle is in the audience. Al, are you there? Can you still...
Yeah, Al, if you're out there, stick your hand up. We'll bring you up. You can have a second to talk about Swapsicle's launch not launch, but whitelist sale launch, I should say.
Where is he? There he is.
There he is.
Lovely.
Hey,
So,
how are you?
hey, Al.
Hi, how are we
you
doing?
Very good. Yourself?
Tired, worn out, but other than that, buzzing.
Oh, you're excited, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Mate, fantastic today.
You guys have...
Cheers.
Yeah, carry on.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, could you just give us a kind of a brief summary of what you guys are up to today, how your pre-sale launch went, and I know you guys also had your own separate AMA yesterday as well.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, let's start in chronological order then, shall we? So we did the AMA yesterday, and this was, I guess, a prelude to the pre-sale launch that happened today, 5 o'clock UTC, and it's still ongoing. I think there are still some tokens left if you want to purchase anybody. Yeah, it was just I guess another one of these meet the team for those that probably couldn't make the previous AMA that we had here in the Phoenix Discord, and we just went through some further details regarding the economic structure, as opposed to it being a more of an intro. This time we went a little bit deeper in the detail so that we could answer some of the community's questions about some of the tokenomics and various utility use cases, and some questions about pre-sale and various other different things, and obviously again ask anybody up to ask their own questions. And that's what happened yesterday in the AMA. And then today, all hands on deck, getting ready for the pre-sale that occurred at 5 o'clock, which was a mega success. I mean, it exceeded all of my expectations. If I'm brutally honest, I didn't really have any expectations. I was kind of grounded, thinking it will be what it will be. Then the phenomenal kind of community that we're all part of here really kind of did themselves proud. I mean, they purchased the tokens. We were nervous at the start. I'll tell you some secrets. We were ready to go live pretty much about, I don't know, midday, and I was paranoid that the URL might actually get out, and then some clever people might kind of what the URL is and actually start buying these tokens ahead of time. So it was kind of a bit of a squeaky bum moment for us when we actually made the wallet live, and it was all kind of ready. But we wanted to be totally prepared for all this because it's a big thing for us, right? And then obviously Luke's devs, their team's fantastic. The guys that were at the helm for the AWS server guys, the front end and the back end guys, everyone's working behind the scenes to some last minute tweaks and checks to make sure everything kind of ran seamlessly, and they put in some kind of blockers and etc. to stop people getting to the website when it kind of went live, and we pointing the DNS service to our correct domain and everything else, and then it all just kind of worked nicely for the first half an hour. It was just amazing. We just exceeded all expectations, selling pretty much 50% of our pre-sale tokens in basically under 30 minutes, which was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Our Discord has been inundated with tickets. Unfortunately, it's been good with the bad. We had a couple of hiccups where some of the obviously the AVAX chain, we crashed the price of AVAX is basically what I'm saying, and everyone's selling their fire tokens. Sorry Luke, sorry Eric, to obviously buy the POPs tokens. So yeah, busy all round. So my head's still spinning. Apologies, I've been drinking a glass of wine to kind of celebrate because it's been a great day. So a lot of thank yous to be had, especially to the guys that are in the behind the scenes, right? The guys that are giving away to make things work that you never ever see. These are developers, these are coders, these are programmers, these are people that are in the Discords moderating, all these kind of guys that answer these repetitive questions time and time again. Thank you everybody that helped at Swapsicle, that particular launch, because it's not an easy job. I'd hate to do it. I don't talk much because I get frustrated very, very easily with the repetitive nature of crypto and questions, especially when it comes to tokenomics and launch. It does my nut. But, I've got to thank those guys that work tirelessly behind the scenes. I've got to thank my team, Swapsicle, Lee, Dale, Jake, Joe, Tom. I mean, we'll explain later in our own AMA when we kind of do a debrief with everybody. But these guys have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to, make sure everything's kind of ready and seamless for the pre-sale transactions for everyone in the community purchasing these PPOPs tokens. Again, got to thank the Fire community, because it's your community here. We're part of that. We're integrated in this, and we're in this together for the long term. And we're going to be, bringing in as much revenue into your treasury as possible, so that we all be, successful from it, and we all kind of prosper from this. And but I got to say thank you, especially to Luke and Eric, for these guys. The incubation, what a great idea. It's a success, and there are more to come, and each one of those will be a success. But we've got to say thank you to Luke and Eric to taking the initial plunge, I guess, with the incubator, with Swapsicle, with the idea that Lee and I brought to you. Say we think this is a good thing. You didn't have to do it, but you believed in us, and we're going to do you proud. So I've got to say, thanks very much, guys, for that belief and that endeavor, and everything you've done for us so far with your team has been phenomenal. Super excited to continue working with you all again. So I just want to, extend my gratitude, because people really don't know what goes on behind the scenes to make projects like this a success. Now,
no, they don't.
They never do. And, the people probably listening here thinking, oh, whatever, blah, 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 and it's like bigging up everyone and everything else. But honest to God, you put in the effort and you work the long hours that everyone works to work behind the scenes, and people probably don't appreciate you. They FUD, they talk shit, they say what they want to say, it's flipping, it's opinionated. But if they really, really understood, and they came behind the scenes and actually were a member of that team and just understood what it means to be a team player, what it means to be part of a team ethos that is kind of all about community, all about making people wealthy, all about helping communities and striving for better, you'd have a difference of opinion.
Right.
You'd kind of check that tweet, you check that opinion, check that comment,
Sure.
rein it in a little bit, and understand and appreciate the effort that people bring in. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much today, everybody. It's been brilliant, and we look forward to the go live date, which will be sometime, we think, in April.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks so much, Alan, for coming up. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So it's a rite of passage to have a couple of hiccups on a launch anyway, so, or even a pre-sale launch. So more to it's just crypto, man.
And just to add a couple of things to that as well. Firstly, the project that these guys have created is phenomenal, and this is going to become a leading DEX. The management team that they've put in are second to none, and I've got to know the team, and they're all very, very talented at what they do. So well done, Lee, Al, and the team over at Swapsicle for a successful pre-launch. Now, you guys may have noticed the user interface you were interacting with. That's an automated whitelist app. It's been developed by PCC and it's a first in crypto. So moving forward, you've just all trialed the whitelisting app that will be used for all future projects for Phoenix Community Capital. And if you know any projects out there that are struggling handling their whitelist, let us know and we'll happily support them by letting them utilize ours. Brilliant.
Absolutely. And if anybody knows of any interesting ideas, either crypto related, blockchain, off chain, come talk to Phoenix. So we're here incubating projects. This is a good place to get started. Luke and Eric, let's talk about the NFT marketplace a little bit. What's kind of the status? I know there's some things to say about the name and how it's worked out and all that. Can you kind of clarify some things for everybody attending?
Yeah, of course. So Pink Banana was a project that I was working on prior to PCC. I was working with the team over there and we were developing it. Now, as the project developed, unfortunately, there was a difference in creative control and where we foresaw the project going. There was just a difference of opinions. Now, both of these are really key targets in the market as well. So instead of us arguing and falling out and just focusing on one, it becomes better for the crypto community for us to separate and run both projects in parallel. So great respect to the team over there. Daniel and Kevin are fantastic people, and they're going to run a really amazing project. I've put them in touch with a fantastic development house based in the UK. They're consummate professionals, really experienced in the crypto space. And the Pink Banana White team are going to be working with them. That means that we are launching an NFT marketplace ourselves. And because we get executive control over it, it means that the profit margins are higher. So the deal we had with the White Light team was 30% of all front end profits to be returned into the treasury. That's now 80% on our project, which is called Spectrum NFT. It's currently deep in development. We're introducing something really exciting into the NFT marketplace era. A nice way to interact, and it's going to be really exciting to see. It's 45 to 60 days away from delivery because we want to take our time and make sure we get it correct and make sure that everything is lined up and working properly. My grand taught me, do a half-assed job, you're going to have to do it twice. So let's get it done first time.
Yeah, it's worth noting as well, if you guys haven't seen Showtime's video that he made last night, well, I don't know if he made it last night, but he released it last night. It had some screenshots from what the NFT marketplace is going to look like in that video. So he had a little bit of alpha footage in there from the Spectrum NFT marketplace. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the updates. Hopefully that clarifies things for people. Feel free to ask the mods for any clarification, and we'll get you that clarification as needed. What about Firebirds? What can you guys tell us about Firebirds? Any additional information, how it works, anything like that?
I'm just going to go back to the NFT point, please, quickly, because I did forget to mention something.
Yeah, please do.
We've been working on some really key partnerships with some really distinguished NFT artists. There's two projects in particular. One's had $500,000 invested in it already. The other one's close to $1 million that we're in talks to launch exclusively on Spectrum NFT. We're also working we're working on celebrity partnerships within the sport, music, and crypto industry as well. So partnerships wise, we're going to bring some really AAA content to this for launch. So if you know any hot NFT artists that want to launch on the hottest NFT marketplace on the Avalanche network, let us know. Thanks. Going back to the fractionalized nests, that's being run by a member of our community, isn't it, Eric?
Yeah, so Crypto Racer is actually one of our moderators, approached me and Luke quite a while ago, actually. It was something I thought was going to come a little bit quicker than what it did, but all good things take time. So maybe just a poor expectation on my end. But we said early on we weren't going to do any fractionalized nests. And we said, hey, we're not going to release a product that costs less than or more than 10 Fire tokens to build. And because that makes the math very easy for calculating what the reward rates and the emission rates are and what's sustainable. So in order to lower a barrier to entry for people who aren't able to just buy in at 10 tokens, the concept came up, what if we had an NFT project? And I didn't come up with this. This was brought to Luke and I. But what if we had an NFT project that represented a share in a nest, right? So like a pooled resource, basically. And I may not be doing it 100% justice. It may be wise to have someone from the Firebird team actually come up and explain a little bit more in depth what it is and how it operates. But the basic concept is that you can buy into a nest and get rewarded from that nest without having to buy a full nest. So for those who can't afford to buy a full nest right now, but still want to participate in the project, that would be the best way to do it. And welcome, Crypto Racer.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good, man. So far, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Do you anything you want to expand on what I just gave as far as a definition?
Hey, man.
Hey Luke, how's it going?
Good,
No,
thanks.
so I mean, when I originally came to you, back when we first started talking about just the idea, I mean, it was mainly just to give people the opportunity to invest or get exposure to the investment of Phoenix, that wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to do so otherwise. So essentially, our project is designed for all the proceeds from our NFT mint to essentially go into a treasury, which we will then invest into nests and master NFTs and grandmaster NFTs. And then the rewards from our treasury would then be given back to, or a percentage of the profits from our rewards will go back to the NFT holders. So it's a way to get exposure to Phoenix without having to buy 10 Fire, which, right now is like $2,600. Um, so you can, get a little bit of exposure to Phoenix without having to do a large investment. And our NFTs will also be transferable and able to be sold on secondary market. So that adds a little bit of um, extra utility there. And then all of our rewards to holders are going to be paid out through USDC and with Swapsicle coming online, that actually gives us another DEX that we can use that will actually, when we do our Fire to USDE swaps, we can do that through Swapsicle, and percentage of those fees will come back into Phoenix also. So it kind of all plays into the whole ecosystem.
Great. And just really briefly, how can people find your Discord and start participating with Firebirds?
So there was an announcement made in the Phoenix Discord that has our Discord link. You can also find us on Twitter at Firebirds NFT. And come on over to the Discord, and we still have, I think we still have 120 whitelist spots that people can go after. We do some whitelist giveaways on Twitter, and some other things. So come on over and check us out.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming up and talking about your project, buddy. Really appreciate it. Moving on, Luke and Eric. I think people got a first look at Griffin Kingdom NFT yesterday. Some of the images, a short little trailer. Is there anything else you can share about Griffin NFT Kingdom? I think Griffin Kingdom, and I'm getting the two words mixed up, but anything you can share about this project for the audience?
Well, it's a brilliant project and it's really exciting. But do you know what? Once again, I think it's probably the best idea to let the project owner come up here. There he is, right on cue. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Luke, Eric, Showtime, how is everyone doing today?
Really
Fantastic.
good, man.
Glad to
Well,
have you.
thank you, sir.
Good deal. Hey, just give me 1 second trying to work out my phone. It switched.
Oh, all
Okay,
right.
no
And
worries.
on that
We'll get him
bombshell,
back up.
lovely.
Oh, whoops.
There he is.
All right. So, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Very, very good. We're excited to hear what you're going to tell the community.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, we're really excited to launch. We've been working really hard, as you guys know, getting this project, getting all the fine details worked out, getting everything situated so we can launch this project correctly and all at once. I mean, about the next month or so, we're thinking that we're going to have a pretty solid project to launch to the community, and we're really excited about it. So,
Yeah, can you explain it for the people here that maybe didn't get it when I talked about it yesterday?
yeah, for sure. So we're essentially doing a giveaway system where the proceeds of the 100% of the proceeds are all comp or made into node or nest, and all the nest that we receive the rewards from, a percentage of that will be given away to the investors of the NFT, and a certain percentage of that's also going to be invested and compounded back into the project to create more and more giveaways every week. So with a higher level of compounding, every week we're getting let's say 25% more giveaways until 5 months later it doubles, and then every 5 months after that it's doubling. And so we kind of wanted to introduce something like that so that you know that your NFT doesn't just have the set value that you paid for it. So, 2 AVAX, for instance, that 2 AVAX in 5 months could be worth 2, 4, 6, 10 AVAX because of what the, Phoenix Financial coin Fire token's doing and what our NFT giveaways are doing. So, we kind of wanted to mix the both in there to kind of say, hey, if you do decide to sell your NFT on, the AVAX NFT marketplace, that's great. You're still going to have a really tremendous value on your NFT. But not to mention, it's incentivizing to hold it because of the ability to, participate in these giveaways.
Excellent. Excellent.
Then,
And oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
so I was going to say, and then there's a tier system that we've introduced because we wanted to kind of give a little bit of a variety to kind of say, hey, if we don't make it to a certain point, what's our options? And so we introduced the tier system. We have 5 tiers. And each tier, as you touched in your video the other day, Showtime, each tier we're going up 0.5 AVAX for NFT cost. That's for to kind of give exclusive access to the people who got in early. If you got in tier 1, then you're going to get in the cheapest. If you got in tier 5, you're going to get in at the highest level. So what we're doing is we're trying to do the tier system so that each tier allows different levels of the giveaway. The tiers are 20%. So at 20% sold, 2,000 NFTs, we're going to introduce tier 1, which at tier 1, we're starting the standard sets of giveaways, same compounding and everything from that till tier 2. In between tier 1 and tier 2, for instance, anything that we sell, any NFTs that we sell are going to be made into Nest and compounded 100%. So that when we get into tier 2, instead of, let's just use simple numbers. If at tier 1 we're giving away 20 nests per week, what tier 2 for simple math would be 40, right? Well, with this program, ideally it could be anywhere from 40 to 60, or if not more, depending on how long it takes to get to that point, because everything is being compounded, and
Right.
everything from that point is going to be used for that giveaway. So it's not going in my pocket, it's not going in anyone else's pocket, it's going into the investor's
Sure.
pocket.
Sure.
So yeah, we
Hey,
definitely really excited.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming up and explaining it. I think you explained it better than I did, and that makes sense since it's your project. So thanks so much, buddy. We're gonna go ahead and get on to the next point. But thank you so much for coming up. We really appreciate your time. So people
Thanks,
got
man.
kind of a taste of Combat Waffle, which I still I'm jealous I didn't think of the name first, but Combat Waffle Studios and Ghost of Tabor Luke and Eric, what can you tell us about that game as well as maybe other games that they are in development?
Oh man, what like this is really turning into my favorite project in the whole ecosystem.
And really is. It's exciting
And
every day.
it's my project underneath that, and this is really exciting me. The work Scott and his team are doing is second to none. But do you know what? Once again, it's not right for us to talk about it. Hey Scott, how you doing, man? Tell us about your baby.
Hey guys, how are you?
Really
Great,
good, thanks,
thanks.
man.
Great. I'm at the computer right now working away.
Good on you, man. Good on you. Tell us what you're working on.
So right now we're just sort of finalizing everything. We use a great app. So anybody out there that is has a business or a lot of projects, I highly suggest you download a free project development app called ClickUp, and it will make your life so much easier. So right now our UE4 dev is currently just building the backbones, building the guts, the movement system. I mean, there's so much work going on being completed. Let me pull up the dashboard. I can tell you what's been sort of touched on today. Ghost of Tabor. Looks like they're working on the crafting system right now. Like I can see live in time as stuff is happening, and right now they're working on the crafting system. And then we know we have our map maker is currently finishing up the first map, which is going to be a coal mine, moving on next to a shopping mall, and then an actual community technical college. So a lot of places you'll learn about our maps and stuff in game is most of these maps are real places within the Czech Republic, within the Ukraine, with a lot of different countries in Eastern Europe. So they're trying to get those down to almost dead accuracy. I mean, we're even using the town that my wife grew up in, which is in what's called Horice, and it's in the Czech Republic, about an hour and a half from Prague. So even that town is going to be in the game for an area for you to explore.
That's amazing, Scott. Now, I mean, Eric and I are looking at this. This is a VR game, um, and it's going to be on Oculus. Now we're looking at this. This is going to be a AAA rated title, I feel, Scott. How do you feel?
I tell you what, if I didn't have the team that we have, I would disagree with you. But I'm looking at my guy Ronaldo and my project manager, and now the full stack developer we've brought on, and even our Abaki, our 3D modeler, and it's just the work they do. It amazes me every day. Like by the time this game releases, it's going to be a AAA title in my opinion, and the next game after that, we're already in the planning stages, and it's going to be even bigger and better. And we're just going to keep going up from there. And it'll be pretty cool. There'll be some Easter eggs hidden. You'll actually get to notice throughout some stuff that all the games will have a little tie-in together. So, and you'll notice those names of the different factions or maybe a different company logo, sort of like an umbrella. As a lot of people know, I'm not hinting at zombies. Don't get excited.
Shoot.
You never know what may happen. The
He
ideas
just
are
said,
on the
"Don't get excited."
the ideas are on the
Now we're
whiteboard,
getting
so we'll see
excited.
what happens.
I'm
But
excited
you'll have
now,
the company
Scott.
sort of like an umbrella that it sort of echoes throughout all of our different games. That you'll be able to recognize that logo when you see it.
Wonderful.
That's amazing.
So I know Luke and I have seen a lot of pictures and kind of some updates. Have you shared any updates with the community on any screenshots? Or I know there was a video in Showtime's inside of Showtime's video last night that he released on YouTube. There was
Yes.
a short segment where there was a bit of a sort of a pre-alpha reel of footage. Do you have anything else you're sharing here in the Discord?
We do have some just still images and stuff we took when we were shooting that pre-alpha footage. I should have something probably by the end of next week that would be better to share. I don't have anything new right now. I did send Reliable Guy, the moderator here. I sent him everything, and even the video. So he is going to post the video independently. I noticed last night that it was a little off skew. I think that was on our fault. So I actually fixed it, and I sent him the updated video so you could see more of a wide angle than what you could see in Showtime's video. But besides that, like we're busy working, and we're working on back end, and I've got some guns that I could show you probably by next week. But there's a lot of stuff happening every single day with a lot of moving parts, and we're just ready to get it going. And I can't wait to just show you guys in the community what we're working on, and get those alpha testers in that are able to sign up right now, which is friggin' fantastic that you all are already doing that.
Good. So one more question I want to ask, and it's probably one of those that's kind of been asked before. Maybe it's been answered before, just in case we have new members here that don't fully understand what the
Mm.
one is. We're definitely this is a Phoenix Community Capital Company project, and then there's going to be some benefit from just game sales. But is there a mechanism where the Fire token is going to be pulled in or utilized in the game?
Yes, so people have been asking that, and we do have more meetings to have about that. They're on the calendar, but we do plan on making Fire the main in-game currency for the game, to my knowledge, and from what's been discussed among everyone. So there will be a way, hopefully, which it's more than doable, to possibly link your wallet. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to say something and then
Sure,
it's like, oh, it's
sure.
going to happen, But
Yeah.
what our idea is we would love to be able to link your wallet or however you want into the game live. And I've even got this really cool idea where we've recreated the small little cold wallets, and I forget what they're called right now. But we recreated those, and it's a ledger. We recreated the Ledger Nano, and we're actually going to rebrand it and give it our own little look to where it's a Fire ledger. And
Oh,
maybe those will
nice.
be randomly spread throughout the game, and you could pick up random Fire or something if you find one in a drawer of a cabinet. Or there's so many different ways to go about it, including even I think we're talking NFTs of certain things in game, that I hope will work with the other projects on the market. So there's a lot of stuff, and I'm just excited. That's all I can say is I'm excited.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're really excited as well,
I'm-
Scott.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, man. And that
But-
actually, you're going to be asking members of the community to do alpha testing. Am I correct?
Yes, we will. Yes, communities. I think they're already signing up based off of Showtime's video last night. There was a link posted, so they can already go ahead and sign up. I think they're going to be selecting 15 people is what was decided. But that does not mean that there won't be more opportunities for that. That's just a rough number because we are talking to some very large streamers that I have personal connections with that I'm not going to say their names because I don't want them getting bombarded. But we're already talking to those guys about testing everything and being in there. So we want to make sure we save space for those guys too. But the one thing, guys, I haven't got to say it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, thank you for my whole team. There's 6 of us. And without Phoenix, this project and the one we're planning after this and after that and after that wouldn't even be possible. Phoenix is literally changing lives, and I'm one of the people that could post in the channel that says it, but I'd rather say it live now that I'm here. You've changed my life, and I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart and my family's hearts.
That means so much to hear. Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And you know what? It's credit to you, man. You've created something amazing there. It was hard not to accept.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. That's as far as I'm concerned, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I alluded to a incubator project called Niffy, top secret, nuclear code kind of classified information. What can you guys tell us? Anything about Niffy and what it is or what's going to happen?
Right. So this is kind of like my brainchild, and I brought this to the table. I was gonna go and develop it on my own. I've been working on it for about a year, but then we started doing it as an incubated project, and I just decided to pull it in house because it's going to be massive, and we need all hands on deck for it. Essentially, Niffy is non-fungible U. We're changing the way that people interact with blockchain because what we want to do is we want to protect end users. So the idea is you have your NFMe and that sits within non-fungible U. It has a ton of use cases and it's gonna change the world, guys. It's gonna change the world. I can't really tell you much more.
No, it's still so early on. We can't really disclose a whole lot about it right now. Do you want to maybe share some reactions. We did talk to a team in Dubai
It's just nice
about
to
it.
our next point. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, their reaction. Do you want to explain what their reaction was? Because I read the room and it was it was it was amazing.
Yeah, man. We spoke to some lawyers under oath about the project. They lost their shit when they found out what we were
Pretty
doing.
much. Yeah.
This product's needed in the world. No one else is doing it, and we are building partnerships to ensure that when this is ready, this is going to take the world by storm. You guys are here to watch the journey firsthand, and we've got a unicorn here. We have a unicorn, and we're gonna grow this baby huge. That's about all I can say.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not much else we can talk about there, unfortunately. At this stage, we can't wait to share more.
You know the name. You've got the branding now. So yeah, that's out there now.
We'll have to be satisfied with that, and we'll just leave it at that. You guys talked about Dubai. Anything else you want to recap about your time in Dubai? Anything you want to share with the community at all about it?
One thing we can talk about is Dubai as a city, as a nation, the UAE, and the people there as well. So Eric and I went out. We were scouting. We're watching the global crypto scene, and we know that Dubai is kind of a neutral state on many affairs. Now, the government in the UAE, especially within the Dubai region, they wanted to turn Dubai into a smart city by 2025. They're looking for full blockchain integration, and they're looking for the greatest minds in crypto to move out there and launch their projects out there. One thing that's very clear is that projects like Phoenix and the roadmap that we have is wanted in areas like that. So while the whole world is worrying about court case outcomes in major nations, there are other major nations making moves to just push forward regardless. Now, the good thing about working out there within the crypto space is that the regulation as well. They're already regulated out there, and the regulators are keen to come in and work with, creating the shape of what it looks like. They're aware it's a burgeoning market, and it's a great country out there. It's clean, it's tidy, the people are good, it's ordered, it functions really well, and they're really good at doing business. So when you see how they run their city and their plans for the future, the pitch they gave me, I lost my shit. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway I had from that meeting was they're looking for mature and confident and competent people to consult with, because they know that there's things they don't know about blockchain, and they're eager to work with people that can help consult them and help them mold what the future of blockchain looks like within the UAE and specifically the region of Dubai. That's one of the reasons we had the conversations we had.
Well, again, thank you for taking the time to go out there, because like I say, long trip, long time out there networking. It's mentally draining, I know for sure. So thank you again.
If I need to go back, don't twist my arm. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll go out. I'll go out if I
gladly go
have
back.
to. If I really have to, it was. Yeah, no. Happy to be home though, and caught up as well. I'd just actually like to say, most importantly, Eric and I were out there working hard, but the team were still at home working even harder. It's really hard when the leadership team walks away and you're left holding the ship. And we left the ship in Gavin's hands. So massive shout out to Gavin. Gavin, thank you so much for holding the fort. You did a great job. And to everyone who stayed behind and held the fort, Eric and I walked back in, and it was like we'd never left. Really pleased, and thank you so much to everyone.
Agreed. Thank you.
I will say I've gotten to know Gavin pretty well, and super smart guy, and on the ball with things. He's an action taker for sure. So thank you, Gavin, as well. Let's kind of segue to maybe one of our last points before we get into kind of this pre-submitted questions. Anything you guys can tell us about the website design? There's been some feedback. I know we had a new website go up just before Dubai. There's been some comments on improvement. Anything you can share about how that's moving forward?
Yeah, so we changed the website. We wanted to make a statement that the starting period was over. We're no longer what we were at the beginning. We've now moved and migrated into something new, and we've changed. This is the identity we changed to. It's not a tattoo. It will change in the future, but we needed something that created that stamp and that difference between the new and the old, and this is it. We are making further updates for the website, but for now, this is our theme, as our focus is on the execution of our incubations. So I guess it's we're here for go, not for show kind of mentality.
Yeah, I think it's fair to point out too that the teams that are building the incubations on the back end, that's the same team that would be responsible for coming up with and deploying a new website. So it's a bit of a prioritization of resources. But do you want to take everyone off of the stuff that's going to be revenue generating and put them on a project to redesign and implement a new website, or let them focus on developing revenue generating projects that we're incubating? So I think we go with the latter on that, if I'm being fair. As Luke said, it's not a tattoo. It's not forever. I know there's a lot of people that said they didn't like it. It was a big contrast from what it was, and that was intentional. That was meant to be, like Luke said, a growth and an evolution into something new that was different than what we were before. So we had planned it. It was not unplanned. We did see it as a concept about a week before it was deployed. So we had staging and everything set up to go. Luke and I were on the ground in Dubai at the expo, made the call. Yes, let's go ahead and update the website. The intention behind that was, if we were meeting with new people, handing out business cards, we wanted the website to reflect the updated feel and evolution of who we are as an identity. So that's the reason behind sort of what most people, I think, thought were an abrupt change. There wasn't really any announcements to go along with it. If you felt like that was not right, I apologize. But that was the nature of why we did what we did and how it came to be.
Yeah, I thank you for that. I always say business is like a book. It's like a story. You have your table of contents. Your table of contents is like your business plan. And you'll notice the story progresses, and there's various storylines. The website is just like one of the storylines that is progressing, and the next chapter will be opened on that at some point, and I'm sure that will incorporate everybody's concerns. Let's do this. Why don't we get into the pre-submitted questions? And again, we've got a few of them. I don't even know if we'll get through all of them specifically, but we will try our best. If there's time, you guys can come up. I know people have their hands raised. If we don't get to you, our apologies. Let's just start with the first question. There is a question about why Phoenix was incorporated in the US, given the fact that the US is not very crypto friendly. I know Luke touched on that with Dubai. You could have incorporated it in the UK and had a subsidiary in the United States. There's some concern because Ripple, who's I think they're a $1 billion company at this point, if I'm not mistaken, has tried to work with the SEC, and even they haven't been successful. So there are some concerns about that happening with Phoenix. Well, what are your guys' plans to mitigate that same risk?
Yeah, so I'll take the first part of the question. What basically it was, what was the driver for incorporating in the U.S.? For those who may not know, and we've mentioned this before, but it's worth repeating, we always have new people coming in, and I don't mind. But we are working with a law firm. They're a global law firm. They're rather large. Their name is Baker Botts. We met with them prior to launching the project. We'd explained to them what our business plan was, how we were going to go to market. And their recommendation was to incorporate in the US because of the barrier to entry for doing business across borders is easier to do from the US than it is to do from somewhere else into the US. And the US represents a large market share, right? So we didn't want to get locked out of the US and exclude a bunch of potential market share based on some other region we're incorporated in, trying to back into the US. You see that with Binance, for instance. Binance couldn't do business in the US, so they spun up a company called Binance.us. And Binance.us operates in the United States as an exchange. However, it still has certain states, like for instance, Texas, where I live, you can't use Binance.us. It's not allowed. So there's even further restrictions. So that's what you run into when you're outside of the US looking in. So the recommendation was from the attorneys. We went back and forth on several different locations around the world. It was just the recommendation of the law firm after much discussion and deliberation. That's what we've decided to move forward with. And we took their recommendation because they are the ones that represent us, and they do high level international finance and business representation for large corporations all over the globe. So if anyone can help us mitigate and navigate that landscape, surely it's them. And that's the reason we hired them, was for their recommendations and their advice.
Moving forward, it's an ever-changing landscape in crypto. We joke behind the scenes that 7 hours in crypto is a month in the real world, because it really is like that. Crypto changes on the day, on the hour, and we have to keep our finger on the pulse. We're constantly looking at ways to navigate this, this field, and we've surrounded ourselves with key advisors. We have some of the best brains and voices in the industry talking to us on the daily basis, and we're constantly looking around. Now, we're incorporated in the US. We we don't know what the future brings, and we have more projects that we're bringing to the table, and we are exploring markets. That's all I'm willing to say on that point at the moment. But yeah, we're actively managing the situation.
Thank you for those detailed responses. One thing I will say is you guys can actually search for the entity of Phoenix. It was decided based on legal counsel and things of that nature to do that in the state of Delaware for lots of different reasons. You can actually search for Phoenix, under the state website for entities. So you can actually confirm for yourself that it has happened.
Yeah, we are an actual entity legally formed in the state of Delaware in the U.S. You can go look that up. We don't make anything up here. We only speak the truth.
Yeah. So what about allowing whales? I mean, this question really doesn't just apply to whales; it's really anybody in Phoenix to actually collateralize or borrow against their fire. This next comment is not tax advice, but there's some thoughts that you'd have tax-free gains because it's considered debt and it's not considered a gain, capital gain or loss on that situation. It might not also reduce sell pressure. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we met some interesting teams over in Dubai. We're actively looking into something that can work like this. Basically, it's on the roadmap as something that we want to offer. So we're looking into a third-party provider for a partnership at the moment.
Thanks for that. I'll also say to whoever submitted that question, you also have to be cautious about collateralization. If you remember what was going on with Wonderland and Olympus, there were these flash crashes because people were getting liquidated. And anytime you have collateralization and leverage, there's always people that try to manipulate it, and it becomes a house of cards. So you have to be very cautious on that, and it has to be done right so it doesn't impact the market by people who want to manipulate. It's just something.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Showtime. And as you know, before we go into anything, we like to fully research it, weigh up the pros and cons. It's something we're looking into, but as you've alluded to, it is a complicated part of the market. So we would just want to make sure that when we tread, the ground is firm.
I alluded in my video that, and I know Eric spoke about this early on in the project, about a dashboard for the investments being made. In the interim, is there some ability to create like a channel in the Discord where it shows the on-chain blockchain, I should say, transactions, something that people can kind of visually see before the dashboard's actually up and running? Or what are your thoughts overall on that?
Yeah, this is a really good question that came up earlier. We discussed it this morning because we were looking ahead some of these questions we were going to answer during the AMA. The problem is that we don't typically, I shouldn't say typically, the investments we've made so far are actually traditional finance, like wire transfers to other bank accounts. They're not on the blockchain, so we're not for like Combat Waffle Studios, for instance. There was no blockchain traceable transaction for that, right? And there's not going to be, because it's going through traditional finance methods.
Right.
That's, you know, it's because what we've done essentially is we've acquired stock in the company, revenue share and profit share from the company off of any of the sales and proceeds that comes through that, right? Combat Waffle Studio generates. So this one's not an on-chain investment. This one's going to go off-chain. Other than that, we haven't had a whole lot of capital go out, and you guys probably see that with the treasury not moving a whole lot, because when we're building these projects, it's not like traditional finance investing in DeFi, for instance. We're not sticking $200,000 into XYZ project hoping for some type of a yield on the back end. So you're not going to see those transactions in every case anyways. And in the ones we do have, they're really, really, really small, but the output, the ROI, because of the small investment up front, is massive on the back end. When you're talking about profit in infinite profit shares off of a company's operations in perpetuity forever in exchange for a one-time upfront cost, that is the definition of venture capital. So you're not going to see a whole bunch of back and forth on Snowtrace, for instance, with the transaction IDs. I think the dashboard is in production, or excuse me, in development. Shouldn't say production. Is in development. It is coming. We should have that out in the near term. If you want to go near, medium, long term. So in the near term, we will have that available. But I don't know there's going to be a better way to track the ledger on what our investments are than what we're going to provide internally. And that's the reason we're developing it, because there's not a better way to really observe it right now. What about sum it up, Luke?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're kind of operating as VC as a service at the moment, really. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that bringing, when there is something to bringing off-chain, assets, investments, ROI, profitability, all that type of stuff on-chain into a dashboard should be something Phoenix might consider as like a project. I should say more of like as a service, because there are other projects bringing off-chain assets, and they're trying to represent it on-chain, but there really is no perfect like way to do it.
Yeah.
Or
Like a
even
licensed method, like we could create and generate that and then license it out for others to use. Is that what you're alluding to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. I like that.
What about there's a lot. The next couple questions are going to be about selling pressure. Of course, that's what's on everybody's minds with the pricing, of course, whales and things like that. So, are you guys looking to impose any kind of incentive or penalty for wallet responsibility?
Yeah, well, we've spoken from day one about a wallet reputation system, where we reward people who interact with the network in a respectful manner, support the network, etc. And all of you who have NFTs will today have had access to the whitelist of Swapsicle. So, thank you so much, for supporting the network. And this is our way of saying thank you by giving you early access. While there is the good, there is also the bad, and we do have things in place to manage bad actors within the network.
Maybe so I would say, to echo that, right? So the incentive for wallet responsibility is, if you have a nest and you have NFTs, you've already seen the whitelist for Swapsicle. That's a benefit for buying in at a certain different levels within the project. So if you've experienced the whitelist sale today with Peepops and Swapsicle, then congratulations. That's part of the incentive for buying into the ecosystem, buying into Fire in different levels. Yeah, so that's on the front end, and then on the back end, we do have mechanisms in place to alert us during certain behaviors, and let's just leave it at that.
To add on to that, this is sort of I'm going to kind of reword it just because I think it'll make more sense. It's kind of two questions, it's kind of adds on to what you just talked about. Is there anything in place or planning to go in place, such as like a whale tax or any type of like restriction on how much can be sold, how often? That would be like question one. And question two is what is the current thought process behind buybacks as the selling pressure increases because people are compounding?
So question one, we're currently in development of a V3 smart contract. We're not going to talk about that at this time. So yeah, question two, I'll leave to Eric.
I apologize. Can you repeat the question? I have a little bit of a touch of ADD, and
No, it's okay.
if the
sometimes
questions get really long, I can't remember what part is which.
No, I apologize. I should have just broke it up anyway. Sometimes as you guys are talking, I'm answering questions in the Discord and I'm not even listening, so I understand. So the second part of the question, which Luke passed off to you, Eric, is can you kind of share the thought process behind buybacks, especially as the selling pressure increases, since you have whales that are growing and they're compounding, and that's just going to exponentially just keep going up.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different methods we're looking at. I won't go into detail in one of them. One of them is obviously just a static, we take the revenue. So the way that the tokenomic works is we have these investments, these incubations, these companies and projects within blockchain and off blockchain that generate a revenue stream, and all of it, well, not all of it. So most of the profits, all of the profits, not most of the profits. I was trying to distinguish between profit and revenue. So profits come back to the treasury in the form of stablecoin, preferably, or an AVAX. And we use that to buy fire off the market. In other words, that's how we exchange profitability and reflect, as you put it so eloquently, Showtime, in your video last night, which honestly, your video answers some of this. So reflects the profit from those investments into the token. That's how buybacks are handled. We have another method that I'm not really prepared to announce publicly yet, but I think it's I've mentioned it to a few other people in the team. We're developing a process where we could do that without directly going to the market as from the treasury and buying back the token, or buying the token off the market to raise the price. So there's another mechanism that we have in the back pocket that I think will be better, but I'm not ready to discuss it publicly yet.
I'm going to ask.
Essentially, it serves the same purpose, right? So the whole point is to put the profit from these companies and these projects back into the token.
Right. And I'm not even sure people knew there were zero buybacks up to this point.
Yeah, so we're actually zero revenue at this point. So that's probably worth noting here. If we could just have a moment to reflect on the reality of Phoenix Community Capital, we're about 3 months old. Right. So what we're doing is we're developing and building companies, gaming studios. We're in talks with Hollywood producers for a movie, maybe a Netflix show. These things take time. I know crypto moves really, really fast, and everyone's like, "Win Lambo," but we're 3 months in. It's not even 90 days yet, and this is what we're facing. Is there's a lot of win buyback. So because of the nature of what we're doing is different than everybody else is doing, it's going to take a little bit longer, but once it starts kicking in, it'll kick in effortlessly, constantly, and in higher revenue and profitability numbers than traditional finance could give you.
I really enjoyed your video last night, Showtime, because what it did is it really, really hit home to me what we as a team have created in such a short time. I'm friends with other token owners, and managing a token is a full-time job, right? Let alone going and finding 6 projects that are going to be incubated and brought to market. We've the Swapsicle team have brought their project to market already, and it is phenomenal that we've launched our first within 90 days. We're not even 90 yet. We launched on the 27th of December, so we're not even fully 3 months old yet, and our first incubator project is on the market. Credit to those boys for what they've done. So I'm sitting here, and what we've achieved is absolutely amazing for such a short time. And we we need patience from you guys, because we I think our actions speak for ourselves. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. I can attest personally from building businesses, they take time. We have kind of a cheat code in crypto where finance is sped up about, I don't know, 10,000 times faster or something like that. I think it's been said that dog years is like 7 years for every year, something of that nature, I believe. You could probably take 20 years, and every year is like 20 years in crypto. So you can imagine what the months are like. So that's, we're coming from kind of almost an unfair playing field in crypto. And then when you try to bridge traditional finance, if you don't know on the back end of running businesses, it takes time. It really does take time. So just wanted to echo that. What about have you guys had any discussions about like a credit or a debit card that could run through Fire or AVAX? Something like this, you could collect service fee on transactions and give people who want to dump, large amounts of the token, perhaps another option.
Now, this was on
Hmm.
the roadmap, on Eric's
Yep.
roadmap from day one. So I was waiting for him to talk. He's here
Yeah, no,
now.
I
Go,
did. I
Eric.
did. I had a 5-phase roadmap when we first sat down. Luke and I built this out. There were 5 phases. We've not released those to the public. That is on the horizon. It's not a near term thing, but it is on the horizon as a goal we're working towards in conjunction with a couple other things that I personally have a vision and see a future where the blockchain and traditional finance start merging. And so I want to be ahead of that, but I don't think we're there yet. But yes, it's in consideration. It's on the horizon, but it's not near term or even midterm. I don't think. I don't think it's that close. And I'm happy to be wrong, and we can pivot immediately if we need to. But yeah, it's there.
We should talk. I have some thoughts about how perhaps you could allow people to use their Fire without affecting the sell pressure, but that's another conversation for another day. Phoenix has added some new employees, from what I understand. Could the community get a list of what they do for the company by any chance?
We have an org
So
structure that we're using internally, and we're filling out. We're not going to release the names of our staff. Okay, we're not going to tell you who they are. You don't know the staff in Amazon. You don't know the staff in in the kitchen at your restaurant. You know the people at the front of the shop. And that's Eric and I. You'll get
right,
to know
yeah.
the names of our management team, our C-level suite. You may get to know them, but you're not going to get to know the names of the members of the team. However, we will definitely release our org structure so that you know the kind of shape we're going for.
Now, so to piggyback on that just a little bit, right? So if these people that work for us want to get on LinkedIn and volunteer that information, then by all means they're allowed to do that. That's their information. But what Luke is saying here is that we're not going to give out a list of our staff members, their names and their roles within the company, especially those beneath the executive level, because in most cases it's support staff that perform various functions that really it's not necessary to know who does every little thing in the company. I appreciate that the community might want to know a little bit more. They're seeing them in the Discord, obviously. Maybe ask them directly in a DM, hey, what do you do here? And if they feel like they want to share that with you, then so be it. But it's not my place or Luke's place to share that information.
Yes, yes. I mean, I personally agree. I mean, I think you guys obviously have shown who you are because you're kind of the top of that org structure. I constantly patron businesses, and I don't ask to see every single employee that works at that business before I buy anything. So let's just give a little grace to some of the people who are willing to come in and help the community, but are not always willing to tell you, their blood type, so to speak. I'm being facetious, of course.
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course, yeah.
yeah, a little sarcastic too. I apologize. The tokenomics sheet mentions that operations. I'm just reading this, as it's written here. The tokenomics sheet mentions that operations can feed the treasury pool. So, at what point would that happen? Since we can see operations at over $5 million in less than 90 days, what is the plan for that amount of money in the ops wallet?
So we set up the tokenomic to support the operations wallet. The operations wallet is there to fund the team, to grow the team, to make sure it's as large and sustainable as possible. Now, Eric and I said from day one that we would support the treasury with the operations wallet if it needed it. Okay, so that is there as a backup should the treasury ever need it. We're happy to use company funds to support it. However, what you guys have to realize is we're not running as a crypto token first and foremost. We're running as a business. Businesses cost money to run. Now, other cryptos, they take that money from the token and that causes sell pressure. We're not. We're taking that from the fees. So they're the management fees for us to manage the token and incubate these projects.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the treasury is only for investment. So if there's any concern or question about, well, when will the treasury be used for operating the business, or if something came up where there was legal fees or what have you, that's not what that's there for. The treasury is only for investment, and the operating expense account, or the operating budget, or the maintenance wallet, as we call it sometimes, that's there for operating the business and the various businesses that we incubate, payroll, and so forth. So that's where that money's set aside for, and it's mostly earmarked for future growth and scalability.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So we have a couple more questions. We'll see where we are at with the time. I know we still have a lot of people with their hands up. We'll see where we're at, and we'll go from there. But someone asked, can we please restrict access in some way to people in our Phoenix Community Capital channel who are not investors? If not, can we at least give their name a different color? There seems to have been a concerted effort by an organized group of non-members to derail Project Confidence by constant flooding. Well, welcome to the club and take a ticket. But I would say, what do you guys think about that?
Do you know what? We've had it from day one, right? Yeah, we've been through a few battles, guys, since we've been here. When we launched, we had a hate campaign by a group of influencers. Those influencers still hate us. We've had hate campaigns from other companies, all other cryptos all around the space, and they still continue. It's okay. We're used to it. That we're letting our actions talk for ourselves. Okay, we're not here. We're not hyping anything. Showtime will attest to this. We were going through the roadmap. Okay, we're not making false promises. Okay, we're telling you guys exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it. If you wanted false promises, I can tell you my dreams. Okay, and we can market my dreams, and that will bring hype. And if you want hype, there's projects out there that give you hype. We're here for a sustainable return on investment, and we're working our little asses off here to try and make this work. And you know what? The more hate that we get, the thicker that makes our skin. And the thicker that makes our skin, the stronger that makes our team. So they can throw their arrows and we'll just catch them and we'll wear them as trophies of the battles that we've ridden into and won. Because they can try and bring us down. But they haven't yet, have they, Eric?
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for answering that question. There has been some talk about reorganizing the Discord. So just bear in mind that, there's a difference between asking legitimate questions and, putting hate in your cannon and just launching it all over the chat channel. So very big difference between that. And so trying to do the best we can to differentiate those two scenarios. I'm going to read this question literally as it's asked. It says, we recently partnered with off-chain investment. I think he missed the word advisor, off-chain investment advisor. The guy's working closely, the guy is closely working on SEC regulated companies, etc. The investment firm invests in good companies such as Ripple and so forth. I wanted to understand how Phoenix gets passive income from that partnership. My understanding is that seed investments in startup businesses normally doesn't produce passive income, but gives back through stock equity and appreciation. So is there a mechanism of passive income in that partnership for Phoenix Community Capital?
Sorry, I have my microphone muted. So yes, there. So we work with Matt and King. I think we've discussed this before in the Discord and Camp One Ventures. We have a signed agreement between the two of us as the corporation to corporation. We don't have. So what the agreement is that he is the SEC advisor for our investments. So when we have investments or he has investment opportunities, we discuss them with him. He gives advice on what direction we should take and sort of the risk profile for what we're doing. But the agreement doesn't extend to give us any type of claim to what he has already or what they have already done. So we're not getting anything from the partnership other than advice on new uh, investments going forward. We do negotiate with for instance, with Combat Waffle Studios. That is an off-chain investment, it's a game studio, right? That we're a 60% shareholder in. We do negotiate for profit shares, not just stock. So that's part of the negotiation process and the contracts that we have in place. So it's all about how you negotiate up front, right, Luke? I mean, it's not necessarily one way or the other. It's about how you negotiate. If you look at, I think you guys have Dragon's Den in the UK. We have Shark Tank here in the US. Every deal is a little bit different, but ideally, if you can negotiate for it, it would be great to get a profit share of what's going on or some kind of revenue share off of the operations of the business versus just sitting on a stock that you hope is going to appreciate over time, or maybe a pre-IPO or something like that if you're going to go public later. But yeah, that's how we operate with Camp One Ventures and Matt and King. He's an advisor for all of our investments, so that we can move money and do it under proper advisement.
Can I just
Anything to add?
reiterate?
Yeah.
Yeah, can I just reiterate how fortunate we are to have a person of Madding's stature on our team? Um, he's got a absolutely his experience is to die for. The man has so much experience that he brings, and to have his voice around the table um, offers us so much strength, security, and we know that we have such solid counsel in him. Honored to have you on our team, Madding. Thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Madding very well. I knew him even before Phoenix Community Capital, and what I like about Madding is that he's always going to tell you what he thinks, even if you don't like it, even if it doesn't agree with you. And he does so in such a tactful, professional way. I can tell he's like super analytical about what he does. And mind, 20 years of experience. That guy's been through, being a professional investment advisor. He's gone through some things with the economy, as you can imagine, in the last 20 years. That's given him some significant experience in how to navigate those waters. So,
it's challenging friends, I like to call it, friends who challenge you. And we have a table full of them. And you know what? Showed up from the start. You've been a challenging friend as well. You've always pushed us. So thank you for that.
oh, of course. I mean, appreciate that. Appreciate that. I can be the soft side of the sponge or the hard side of the sponge. It just sort of depends on the situation. So here's a question about regulations again. There is some regulation surrounding yield farming and high yield interest earning projects that have been kind of targeted by legislators in the US. And this person would like to know if there's anything you can share from the legal advice you've received that would ease the concerns of new investors, given the fact that the fire ecosystem has such a high yield rate of return.
Yeah, I think one is I don't want to overstep without legal counsel here to guide what I'm saying. So I'll give you the layman version. So when we brought the business case to Baker Bots and discussed what we wanted to do, there was a couple of conversations back and forth. There was actually, to be frank with you guys, there was a period of time where they said, okay, let's see if we want to even represent you guys. They came back and said, yes, obviously. But there was a time where I was like, I don't know if these guys are even going to take us on as a client. But it is what it is now. We're there. We're on board now. But so we give rewards back in the form of crypto tokens that we control the supply on. So it's kind of like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if everyone here is going to know what that means or not. And you buy tokens and you go in, you play games, you earn tickets, and then you turn those tickets in later for prizes, right? So it's kind of a similar model here, and of course it's a loose analogy. I'm not saying that we're running a Chuck E. Cheese in crypto, but essentially that's the way that the money rolls around here, and that's, in a sense, that's my layman understanding of it. But there is, I guess, the best thing to answer this one with is that there is a law firm, and there is an SEC qualified, certified, adjudicated advisor, and everything we're doing, we're trying to operate within the left and right bounds of what is available now. Now, regulations are not fully defined for what we're doing yet, so we're doing our best to stay within the left and right bounds of what that means legally. And every effort will be taken to keep doing so going forward. But that's my layman explanation on it at this point. Not legal advice.
Hopefully that makes sense. There's going to be some things you can't share from a legal perspective, but you're going to do everything you can. People have to understand that the regulatory framework is such that I'm not going to say it's a guessing game, but there's certain rules you're going to try to, your best to play by, and work with the governing authorities as best as possible. And I think you guys have done that. So thank you for that, Eric. We have one last pre-submitted question. Let me see here. On US only. I'm not sure. Could you guys look at this last question? I'm not sure I understand it. Just so I don't ask a question that.
No, I don't understand.
Yes, it's in regards to the Swapsicle whitelist. No comment.
Okay, yeah, I just sorry, I literally
Yeah.
don't understand the question as it's written.
No, I don't understand it.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
That's my bad on that one.
I'm gonna put my legal hat on and say no comment.
Okay, well, you understand it better than I do then. So we have some people who have had their hands up. We are going to bring up to the best we can the people who've been waiting. I don't think anyone else who raises their hand after this is not going to likely get up. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I'm going to reiterate, please, one question only. And let's leave it at just one question for the third time. Thank you. Red Danny, I think you literally had your hand up for 90 minutes. So let's go ahead and bring you up. And you do have to accept the invite. There you go. Make sure you're unmuted as well, please.
Hey, Red Danny.
Hey,
Welcome
man.
to the show.
How you doing?
I always feel like I'm running like a talk show on a radio. Like every time we bring somebody up here.
Oh
You've
yeah,
got a great radio voice though.
Red Danny, go ahead, please. We cannot hear you, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe check to make sure you're not double muted somewhere. We don't see a mute icon, but just in case.
There is a glitch with Discord that if you come in with your phone, sometimes it doesn't let you talk. Yeah, I think he's trying to unmute, so I'm going to move you away. If you want to try to fix that, we'll see if we can bring you back up. I apologize. I know you were waiting for a super long time. MFJ86, please accept the invite and come on up.
Do you think we put them all to sleep?
I am going to give a certain very small window. If you don't accept it, we're going to move on. Panhandle Realtor. What a cool name. Come on up, please.
Yeah, right. I wonder what this person does.
I'm sorry?
Said, I wonder what Panhandle Realtor does for a living.
They sell panhandles. Says it in the title, mate.
So if you get invited to come on stage, there is a green sort of bar across the top. Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm being pretty vicious if people don't accept it within like 10 seconds. I think that's plenty of time.
Yeah, there's a green bar across the top, guys and gals. So you have to accept the invite to come on stage, and then make sure you're not muted.
JMC, do you have your mic set up properly?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Hey, we got a winner. All right. Welcome on.
Hey, man.
Thank you. Well, mine was sort of more of just a sort of, not so much a question, but I met both Luke and Eric out in Dubai. I'm Julian, just in case, just so you can put the name to the...
Nice to see you, man. How you doing?
Indeed. And it was really just to say... because obviously there's been a lot of people, nervous over the last few days of things for whatever reason. I've met you guys. We've had some really good chats while we're out there. which we're going to be continuing to move forward on. And I know Luke and we've got some really good ideas that we're going to work on. But to say that, these guys are working really hard, and what you're putting together here is phenomenal for everyone. So, I've got full faith in what you're doing, and it was just great to meet you in person and be able to talk about some of those things, and look forward to everything that's going forward. But I'm certainly looking forward to sort of chatting to you, Luke, more when you got the time, and when the jet lag has worn off.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Do you know what? It was really lovely, like meeting you in person, and getting to know you. What I love about when you meet other people in crypto is you come together and you just start talking about your dreams and your visions for crypto. And we've spoken, we've discussed some really exciting things. So no, thank you again. It was really nice. And thanks for making the journey.
No worries, man.
Thank you so much for coming up.
Thanks. That's me. You can knock me off now. Showtime.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. I'm going to give Red Danny another shot. He's back in here. Let's see if he's got his mic working. You with us, buddy? There you go.
Hey, perfect. I only ever seen.
Welcome.
I'll be quick. Thank you very much, guys. So my question is, when DAO, how DAO, and how do you guys protect from the fact that the majority of us invested here are not really necessarily experienced investors and may vote to invest the project's money into dumb shit? Thank you.
Right, love that, and I love the way you ended it.
Bodie McBoatface.
Bodie McBoatface.
It's a good story.
It's a great story. So in England, the RNLI was getting a new boat, and they offered out the name to a public vote, and some amazing titles were given. Named after great British admirals, or great British damsels. Well, actually, the British public chose Bodie McBoatface. As such, what that means is, herd mentality doesn't always mean that the right decision is made. And as we've seen with recent moves by the SEC, with Wonderland, the DAO feature doesn't actually operate properly. It can't be a DAO. So I think we're stepping away from being a DAO, and moving more into an incubation as a service element.
Yeah, the problem with the Wonderland with regards to the regulators in the SEC here in the U.S. was they really hung on to the idea and the concept that even though you call yourself a DAO and you may have votes, there's still some type of sense of centralization. And so because you can't really get rid of that unless you go fully decentralized, no centralized control or management whatsoever, it's kind of counterproductive to call yourself a DAO. And they really hung on to that. I read an article about that a couple of weeks ago and really dug into the use case on that, or the case on that. Once again, not an attorney, but we had a conversation internally and said, yeah, here's kind of a precedent where the SEC is going after an organization for claiming to be a DAO, but they're just going to find every reason to call them not a DAO and say that they were falsely advertising or whatever the ruling was on that. So it's probably best, as you alluded to as well, that we just move forward and away from the idea that the community is going to vote on investments. And we started off saying that, by the way. The website's always had a section in the kind of Q&A section that said that, and I won't quote it verbatim because I don't know it by memory, but it was something along the lines of, while we respect the wishes of the community, we're also allowed, or we take liberty to make decisions as we see fit for the management and longevity and sustainment of the project. So, yeah.
Thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Got a couple more people. Yep. You guys are going to want to stay on till the end. My tweet was not clickbait. It was not clickbait. You got to stay till the end. Monkeyworks. How about Monkeyworks? Go ahead and come on up.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yes. Sure. Welcome.
Hey, appreciate it. Hey, this is actually for Combat Waffle. Sounds like you guys got a really cool game. I'm really into 3D. It's more of a comment than it is a question. I was thinking you guys could go with the Trezor, which is a hardware wallet, because it is actually made in Czech Republic, in Praha. And
good point.
Love that. I love that. Send me your details. I'll get Scott to get in touch, man. That'd be amazing. Great idea.
Yeah, cool. This also, I live in Czech Republic. I'm a expat married to a Czech, and I actually live about 20 minutes from Tabor. So I was really excited when I saw this. So you guys need any pictures or anything, let me know.
That is amazing, man. Wow. How close home that is. I love it.
Thank
So
you.
that's all
Thank
I
you.
had. I appreciate y'all letting me get up here and talk.
Hey, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll get that passed on to Scott for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good comment. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snape, I think your name is said. I sent you an invite. If you could please accept that in the next couple seconds, I will bring you up.
Once again, there's a green bar at the top. You have to tap to or click to accept the invite. There you go. I like the profile pic.
Snape, go on ahead, please. I think you might have the same mobile. There you go.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, great. Yeah, profile pic. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, obviously there's a lot of people freaking out about the price, and obviously people can't even comprehend how the drops and the highs of stuff with crypto, and and everybody's freaking out. But I mean, I'm not worried, and I'm sure you guys aren't, and a lot of the listeners aren't. But how do we feel about the next few weeks, and or 4 to 6 weeks going on, and are you quite confident that the paranoia isn't going to kick in with a lot of these sellers and buyers?
So, hey, Snape, thanks for coming up, man. And you know what? It's a question that's in everyone's mind. I'd like to just point out, a token price isn't indicative of token health. A token price is just what the market dictates that the token is worth. Now, if you just look at the chart, this is our first retracement back down to the support level. We're going to hit it. It's going to happen. You just the project is strong. The project is healthy. Yeah, man, it's a natural pullback. The project is strong and healthy, and with the plans that we've got going on it, we're really excited. We've done no marketing until now, Snake. That's the thing, right? We've done zero marketing. So we're in such a good place right now. Our liquidity pools are strong. Our token is doing well. But the price is dictated by the market.
Yeah, and I think the issues as well. I think, and the main problem is with Twitter that when people, it's brutal on Twitter, and you can get good, you can get bad, and when people are bad, it's brutal. And
Yeah, crypto
I think
Twitter is
people have really got to look at, just to ignore it and just believe in the foundation that you guys are building, and you're a great team. So
thank you. Thanks, man.
just keep pushing, and if people left Twitter or didn't listen to it for a bit and just believed in the AMAs that you guys are doing, then it'd be a more positive place, I think.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
think if
man.
everyone left Twitter for 24 hours, blood pressure would drop, war would stop. Crypto Twitter is a vile place, man. It
Crypto
really
Twitter
is.
is a bad place, man.
It's an absolute cesspool.
Yeah.
I heard once, I should say, that social media just brings out who people really are. I certainly hope that's not true for the case of Twitter.
I think a lot of people hide behind anonymity, and they say and do things on Twitter that they wouldn't normally do to your face or say
Right.
to your face, right? But it gives them a platform and kind of an ability to do things and say things they wouldn't normally do if they were in person.
Sure.
So it does kind of bring out the worst in people, which is unfortunate.
Hive mind. Anyway, hey Sveeks, how you doing? Nice to meet you,
Hey
man.
guys, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
loud
we
and
can hear you.
clear.
Welcome.
Okay, perfect. First of all, I just want to start out by saying love what you guys are doing. Super excited for this year. So good luck to you guys, and looking forward to see where you guys come up with.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So my question is, are you guys planning on rolling out any kind of affiliate program? Something where we can get a little bit of a kickback for anybody that we bring on. I mean, I love the project so much, and I have a big audience that I'd love to share this with. but at the same time, it'd be a great feeling knowing that for every single nest that I help set up, get a little kickback on something or a fire token or something like that.
We've had
Um,
this come up before, actually.
we
Yeah.
have, and
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
we've had long discussions about it, Eric and I, and we're kind of on two fences about it. Let's speak open and honestly with you. So on the plus side, what it will do is it will reward people who invite people in. On the back end, what about all the people that invited people before this started? Now we're not going to implement it in Fire, okay? Because the rewards by this project growing, it means we can grow more projects, and then we can put more projects into the pot because we're creating an ecosystem. So we're going to create the hottest NFT marketplace on the Avalanche network. So that will be there for you guys to interact with. So for you to promote that then puts more rewards back into the Phoenix Fire pool. So the idea is, we're creating projects that earn all of us wealth. So we can go and shout about them as a community, because the ecosystem we're building is about sustaining the projects. Yeah, we didn't want to come out and just launch a reflections token and go, brilliant, there we go, we've done it. What we wanted to do was come out and use this to create a powerhouse of an ecosystem that's really going to revolutionize and radicalize crypto, because where we're moving in the space is the rules are being set. So we're going to play by the rules are there, but we're also going to explore different markets and explore the next one. I'm working on a smart contract right now, and it's going to come soon. Yeah, well, there we go. Here's a little nice announcement. I'm working on another project. It's to do with crypto and charity. We're going to be testing how crypto donations work. So we're going to be announcing this next week. So there's the announcement. So yeah, no. Long story short, we're not going to do a referral system on Fire, but we may on future projects.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it. We do have two more people. I know a lot of people have their hands up. Sorry, we're only going to be able to get to the next two. Go ahead, Raj.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm just going to keep it quick. I was just wondering if you guys have like an estimated timeline for your phase 2, whenever you guys are going to be launching your phase 2. And if you could give a little bit more information, whatever you could share on that.
So we are currently planning V3. So this will be our third version because the first one had a bug in it. So we launched V2 on the 7th of January. So this will be our V3. We're in talks about it. We're planning it now. We're highlighting key points that things that work, things that don't, and we want to really make this as efficient as possible. Yeah, that's about it on that.
I had a question just come through in a DM real quick. And I know we have one more that we're going to get on, and I'd love to hear from him. Just if you want to go ahead and bring him on stage, and then I want to answer this one because we've talked about it before. But the question I got in a DM just now was about merchandise, and I think we've said before, Luke, haven't we, that we're actively moving towards releasing some type of a merchandise or a merchant store. Have we not talked about that before?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it before. I actually know that someone was on a Zoom call in a Phoenix t-shirt recently.
Oh no, who was that?
I think that was you, Eric.
No.
He just rocked up in this meeting. He kept changing between the t-shirt and hoodies. No one really noticed, and I was like, "Hang on, Eric, is that a Fire shirt on?"
True story, actually. Yeah, I changed 3 times. They didn't notice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, no, we're working on it. We've got the products in our hands.
We've got some samples that we're working with. Yes.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that they're of high enough quality for you guys to make sure that you can be repping Fire well.
All right,
Lovely.
Matthew Fox, welcome to the stage.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, and I know I think in this community I might be known as the guy with the most amount of questions, and so I'm going to expect you guys to only give you one question here, but I'll try to put everything all in one.
Keep in mind, I have ADD, so if the question gets really long, I won't be able to remember all of it. I'm being fair, seriously. Like, I will forget the first part if you make it too long.
No, I'm going to give you a prefix to the question, but I'll,
Okay.
I'll summarize it at the end with something very concise.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So, the main thing that I've been concerned about was the fundamentals of the project. And it's great to hear, Luke, you say things like, you know, you're going to revolutionize crypto. One of the things you said earlier was that you're working with the most brilliant minds, legal minds in the industry. So I'm hearing a lot of things that are pretty hyperbole, which, you know what, I'm super ambitious over your efforts and you guys as humans. But the fundamentals of the project, I'm just going to state, we've got just a couple of days ago, about a week ago, you had a $500 million market cap. You were paying out $2 million in fiscal rewards per day, which would have been over $900 million per year, making you guys the most, profitable capitalist enterprise of all time. And that's incredible, absolutely fantastic. One of the first things I was concerned about, which led me to asking these questions, is the sustainability of the selling pressure that's going to be on your project going to still deliver the same metric to which the majority of your community is talking about, going to retire in a year. When you talk to the community, and when I'm in this community, all I'm seeing is essentially brand new investors with a lot of when moon. And so when I take a look at any corporation, the first thing I'm going to take a look at is I don't care about the crypto side, like you guys said before. I'm concerned about the business side. So I had questions about the actual fundamentals of the business. I heard you guys had registered in the US. I've got clients of mine. I run a venture capitalist firm here in Canada. And a lot of my clients came and said, hey, this fire project is incredible. So I said, okay, let's take a look at it. And when I did, everything fell short. And so my question was, if you guys are now registered in the US, and one of the fundamental, things that we require from out of a venture capitalist firm is cash flow. One, I wanted to know that you guys have solidified contracts with these businesses that you're investing in. Are they LLCs? Are they international LLCs? Because all of this matters if you guys are receiving cash from them in terms of payments, because that's what's going to obviously fund your treasury, make you guys profitable. And especially if you guys are also doing TradFi, transfers to these companies, which now means you have to convert back from fiat back into your crypto. And I'm curious how that's going to work on the double-edged accounting system for you guys. So my whole question is here, when we all take a look at the going concern of your business, the biggest thing that I'm concerned about is the sustainability of the business behind the whole token. I don't care about the token. I don't care if it goes to 0 or 5 million. I'm concerned about you guys on the back end have a business that's sustainable, that is going to be here in a year. So of course, regulations was important. I asked those two questions earlier. In the pre-approved questions, they kind of get answered, not really. But at the end of the day, what's really going to matter is, where are you guys paying taxes? Because that to me is going to say,
Matthew,
where you guys.
I do need you to summarize the question concisely.
I'm going to right now. So I'm concerned about cash flow. And at the end of the day, since cash flow to your business is what's most important, where are you guys currently paying taxes to? And how are you guys recording taxes from the cash flows of these investments that you guys are taking in? Because at the end of the day.
Okay, guys, so I did move into the audience, not to be a jerk, but I did ask to please make the question concise and specific.
Understood. Showtime. Thank you, mate. I'm happy to answer the question up until he got to tax. If he wants to talk about that, then you can speak to our accounting team, happily. But I'm not going to shy away from a difficult question. But you're clearly emotional about it. So let me answer with emotion too. Listen, Eric and I are not fools. We're not young men who have just decided to launch a crypto token. Okay, we're not sitting in our bedrooms. Okay, we both walked away from high-ranking positions in very, very long-established careers. Okay, and we did this because we saw an area in the market that needed to be fixed. Now, what we've done up until now, like you rightly said, is on track to become the most successful capitalist venture in history. And that was created by us. Now, what it sounds like is you're concerned about the shape of the company. Well, Eric and I have been working very, very hard over the last 90 days to build out the shape of this company. As you saw with the Swapsicle launch today on the pre-sale, okay, there was not one single problem, okay, with traffic coming to that website. We had our chief technology officer and our chief information security officer on that job. Okay, a problem was highlighted and it was solved within 7 minutes by our team. Okay, these are not amateurs. These are consummate professionals who are amazing at their job. We have Carrie, right? Carrie is absolutely amazing. She's a qualified accountant and a paralegal. This woman is an absolute machine, and she turns out work like you wouldn't believe. We have Gavin, our chief operating officer for Europe. He walked away from a very distinguished career in the education system. And we have Joe, our chief operating officer in the UK, who worked for the Queen's Personal Guard. These are not amateurs. These are people with excellent track histories. We have Madine King from Camp One Ventures, the fourth investor in Ripple. Madine looks at our team, and I tell you what, he sees something special. But if he ever wants to, I'll let him tell you himself. Now,
I'd love to get the two in touch. Actually, it sounds like
definitely
they could go on for a while.
Definitely.
You know what? There's easy answers to the question. We're a C corp in Delaware in the U.S. That's where we pay taxes. The revenue comes in currently from a company standpoint in the U.S. We pay taxes in the U.S. Anything over, I mean, it was like a 10-minute speech to get across what was pretty much a pretty concise answer.
Yeah.
Anyways,
no,
I digress.
You know, mate,
Thank
we're
you,
not
Brad.
we're not running this like amateurs. You know.
I just reiterate real quick. I did say at the beginning, please state your question specifically and concisely, and I had asked him to do that, so that's why I moved them out. So not trying to be a jerk, just trying to do what I said I was going to do. By the way, anybody who's concerned about the investments and things like that, you guys did reiterate this. You know, the team are real people. Like, you can reach out to the people, you can have these conversations. You know, they are there to answer your concerns if you want to do that. Matting, for example, things like that. We ought to maybe just have an AMA with Matting. That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe that would be beneficial. So one other thing he mentioned that I just remembered because my ADD was kicking in, I forgot one part. We do have contracts between these corporations. There are legitimate businesses that are set up. Yeah, so that's well, I shouldn't say that. So some of them are being developed right now. They're not actually in business yet. Will be business entities before they launch, and then there's some that have already launched. Combat Waffle Studios, for instance, I believe is formed in the state of Florida in the United States. So that's another one. So yeah, that's.
Hey, I did get a message from Gavin. I know that you guys, we're going to end here very, very shortly. You guys are going to mention a couple things. Gavin did clarify that very last question that I didn't understand. So I'll go ahead and ask it just really briefly. People were wondering about the Swapsicle pre-sale, and this may be a better question for Lee, I don't know, but the Swapsicle pre-sale had in a disclaimer about people from the United States purchasing the tokens. My understanding, I'll just say my understanding behind it is literally just a legal disclaimer, and that's all it was, because the bearing of you know, proof of any kind of you know, issue is going to be on them, not on you as a token holder. So it was a legal disclaimer, but I think that I'm pretty sure that's what the question was alluding to. Do you guys want to say anything about that?
No, I think you covered it well. It's you know, there's current regulations within the US that are taking place, and the team over there have to be careful. You know, they're an incorporated company. They're running as a foundation. They have a really interesting roadmap coming, and when you guys see it roll out, you're going to be well excited.
Well, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to you guys. I think you have.
I've got one more. We've been getting a lot of questions over the last couple of months about something that we didn't really have any control over, and that was the Certic website.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to report that it's finally updated.
Whoop, whoop.
I mean, it only took like, I don't know how many messages we
Too
sent
long.
over to Certic, like, hey, our community members are really
Right.
asking about this website.
Do you want to know?
I know we finished this thing on January 10th, but your website still says 99%. So if you guys go check out the Certic website now, you should see that it's fully updated.
Yeah, man. That whitelist app that you guys use today is currently with Certic. We called them today saying, "Hey guys, this is ready to rock and roll. Can you audit it?" They were like, "Yeah, man. We do it in 24 hours." So that's going to be audited by Certic within the next 24 hours. I don't know how long it will take to go on their website, but at least we'll know the outcome of the results. So yeah, brilliant. Showtime, thanks for your help, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you for coming up.
Absolutely. Hand it over to you guys.
Thanks, man.
Nobody leave yet.
Nobody leave yet.
This is the good one. You're all going to like it.
So when Eric and I started this journey, it was me and him and our developer Casper. We were working out the tokenomics, and we set ourselves aside a founders token allocation of 5% each for the token. We didn't know what would happen with the token. We didn't know how the launch would go. So we both thought that was a fair amount in keeping with the crypto space. And so we launched. It's been a constant question up until now about what Eric and I are going to do with these founders tokens. We see this price action happening recently, and we think that may be game theory in part because people want to drive down the price of our founders allocation. If that's the case, Eric and I are extremely sorry that people have taken that action to try and ensure we earn as little as possible from this project. However, Eric and I, we didn't come into this, to earn stupid bonuses. We came into this to try and clean up the space and make this a better place for everything. And we've led this project with love and support and security we want to change people's lives. We hate greed and we hate selfishness. We value ourselves on our morals and integrity. And as such, we didn't think it was fair at this point in the journey to take the founder's allowance and sell on the market to a community that we love. So, taking that in mind, Eric and I decided that we are going to reject our founder's allowance. We're going to refuse it.
Not a single token.
Not a
even
single
one.
token. We're gonna give it back to the community. Now we don't know where we're gonna put it yet. We were gonna put it in the rewards wallet, or move it into we didn't know.
Yeah, or maybe
So
just leave it in the main wallet and
maybe just leave it in the main wallet.
just leave it there. Yeah, but the grand point here is that we're not taking a founder allocation. We set it aside, like Luke said. Initially, we didn't know how it was going to work. We didn't know what was going to happen. It was sort of a common thing that you see in crypto as everyone gets founder tokens. The reality is that we're here for the long haul, not for a quick payout or a massive payout. We hate greed, like Luke said. So we've decided we just don't want them. We're not going to take them. No founder allocation, nothing.
0 founders allocation. That goes back to the community. So thank you so much, guys. We love each and every one of you. We wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us for this journey so far. And as this project grows and develops, we hope that you enjoy this just as much as we are, and you get to share in these successes as well. We love you loads. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.